So the Nintendo Switch has been out for over a year at this point, and it's gotten a good amount of original games that people have loved. Super Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, ARMS, Kirby Star Allies, and more have all come out on the system. But you know what else has come out on the system? The Wii U. I mean, not literally, but the Switch has been bombarded with ports from the Wii U. To give some context here, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Hyrule Warriors, Pokken Tournament, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and even some third-party exclusives like LEGO City Undercover and Bayonetta 1 and 2 are all also available on the Wii U. That's a huge amount of games from Nintendo's last system reappearing on the Switch. But after all those games coming, are we finally done with all the Wii U ports, or will we continue to see these games brought over until there isn't anything left worth porting? Hello all 416 of you, I'm Redkwan, and are we done with Wii U ports to the Switch? So let's first address why this is a problem, shall we? Why are Wii U ports bad in the first place? Nobody played this stuff on the Wii U, and putting it on the Switch is just giving it to a bigger audience. And porting is usually done by outside companies and is pretty easy. All that sounds fine and all, but I think Nintendo really tries to make the ports out as if they were new games when they really aren't. They seem to be giving us less stuff because the ports can entertain us instead. It's an excuse not to make games. The first half of this year only had a couple games from Nintendo, and I'm fully convinced that having ports from the Wii U to fill those gaps was what allowed Nintendo to do that. For the people who played the games though, the loyal Nintendo fans who bought a Wii U, there isn't all that much new stuff to play. So now, for the question you all expected when you accidentally clicked on this video, are we done with the Wii U ports? Well, it's a little hard to say. On the one hand, Wii U ports seem to be working out for Nintendo, but on the other hand, there are only so many more Wii U games that are worth porting, and at this point in the Switch's life, do we actually need them? On the first side of that, the Wii U ports really have worked wonders for Nintendo. At first, there was a big crossover between Switch owners and old Wii U owners, but the Switch has now well exceeded the Wii U in terms of sales, and most people playing games on the Switch never played these games now coming to the new system. And people are seeing all these games they haven't played before and feeling like there are tons of games coming out for them. And then there's the money. Companies don't care much about money though, so that isn't a huge oh wait, yeah they do. And these ports, they make a lot of that sweet money jing, with most of these games selling better on the Switch than they did originally. That's a great way to get a ton of money for Nintendo. They salvaged the old games that didn't do as well as they could have, being on the Wii U and all, and they turned them back to us, getting tons of money without a whole lot of effort, and giving the loads of people who never bought a Wii U a lot more reason to buy a Switch. So for Nintendo, it is a really great system. Stopping it would mean that game droughts become a lot more apparent, they wouldn't be able to make all the money off the stuff they'd already made, and they would lose the ability to convince people to buy a Switch with all the new ports. So based on that, it might be hard for Nintendo to give up on all these Wii U ports. But at the same time, it isn't exactly going to be easy to find a whole lot of new stuff to port. Nintendo has already ported almost everything that would work well as a port. All the obscure or otherwise not super popular games on the Wii U that were still good have already been moved over. Games that might have been good candidates, like Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, are getting or have gotten games in their series that make the port unnecessary too. There are a couple of games that might still work out, like Super Mario 3D World, Mario Maker, Pikmin 3, and the Zelda remasters, but if they haven't put them out by now, I feel like there probably was some reason they didn't think they would make good ports. All of these games sold pretty well, so maybe Nintendo thought there wouldn't be enough people who hadn't played it to make it worth it, or maybe with something like Mario Maker, they wouldn't work out quite right on the Switch and they would need some major adjustments. Also, after Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild made such big waves within their series that people thought was a welcome change, trying to sell people games from the series that were in the style Nintendo just got so much praise for walking away from might not have been a great idea. Or maybe The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD Deluxe wasn't quite catchy enough. You made that joke before, Redkwan, you're really running out of material here. So what does this all mean? That's a good question. No, I will tell you what I think it means. I think these ports matter a lot to Nintendo, both in terms of the sales of the games themselves and in the sales of the Switches because of these games, and I think they'll probably try to ride it out as long as they can. Some games might not work well with the transition, or maybe having sequels soon that would defeat the purpose of having a port, but whatever seems to work, and maybe even some of the stuff that might not work as well, will probably come to the Switch within the next year. But after that, they really won't have to bring much over, I don't think. We are probably nearing the end of all the Wii U ports, but there won't magically be more games to fill those slots once the Wii U wells run dry. So either we'll start getting less to play, or the third parties will finally realize that the Switch might be able to make them some sweet money jing, and then they'll port all their stuff to the Switch. Nintendo Switch? More like Nintendo lots of ports. But yes, I think we are almost done with getting ports from the Wii U. There might still be some holdouts that Nintendo will give us over the next few months, but Nintendo is almost out of good Wii U games that could work well on the Switch to port over. Hopefully this will make newer games a bigger priority without all that nice gap padding, but we shall see. And third-party ports might well come in to replace those gaps after Nintendo runs out of stuff themselves. Well, I'm Redkwan. What do you think about Wii U ports coming to the Switch? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you think we're just about out of Wii U ports, or are there some games you would like to see come out on the Switch before everything is said and done? All I have to say is we better be getting a port of Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival or I'm done! Anyways, I'm Redkwan, thank you all for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all later. Goodbye.